York Knicks have just lost another role player in Alec Burks, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because as we saw around 45 minutes ago, Alec Burks did leave the New York Knicks for the Miami Heat. Obviously, it's not the biggest shock that the Knicks did lose Alec Burks, but it still hurts to see him go after he had a pretty respectable playoff performance, especially against the Indiana Pacers when they finally gave him minutes. And I know this is Knicks Digest, and we're not here to really talk about the Heat that much, but this is an awesome signing for the Miami Heat. I mean, you get a guy in the minimum who is a straight-up spot-up shooter. He's the perfect guy to put on the wing next to Jimmy Butler because he's just there to stand in the corner and hit threes, and I think the Miami Heat will be able to get that out of him when they're losing a guy like Caleb Martin, who obviously did exactly that role for the Heat, plus a little bit more. Burks is not going to do more. He can't really hit shots at the rim at all. Actually, out of 337 players who have taken over 300 shots at the rim, Alec Burks is ranked 337th in that. So literally last place of all guys in the NBA over the last 5 years to shoot 300 or more shots at the rim. Not a good sign, but he's not there to do that, and I don't think he's going to really take shots at the rim ever on the Heat. He's going to be there to create spacing for them, and that is exactly what that team needs. So great move by the Heat to bring him in with Terry Rozier and Jimmy Butler there. It's not too much worry about the defense, but obviously this is Knicks Digest. This is not Heat Digest, so we're going to break this thing down from a Knicks perspective, where first of all, look, losing Alec Burks I don't think is the biggest shock to any of us. He was a fine player for us, didn't really get it going, and then in the playoffs played very good basketball. And honestly, it was pretty enjoyable to see the man ball out and do his thing. In the playoffs against the Indiana Pacers, he was actually third in the Knicks with scoring, shooting 50% from the field and 44% from three. So clearly the man shot very well. He was a huge part of the Knicks taking that series to 7 games. He was a phenomenal shooter for them. So a lot of good comes with that, which is very important to note. The Heat got a good signing. It does suck that the Knicks lost him, but he wanted minutes. Looking at the Knicks rotation with where they are now, especially after they drafted a guy like Pakame and like Tyler Kolek, there's more guards and wings on the roster than there was a few weeks ago. So Alec Burks knows that he's far from getting minutes on the New York Knicks and wants to go somewhere where he can get minutes and honestly potentially start. He is an NBA role player still. He did not belong on the end of the Knicks bench. The Knicks just have so many good role players, especially now, that it seemed unlikely that Burks would get minutes. It also seemed unlikely that he would even re-sign with the Knicks. But as I mentioned, he is a very solid player. And let's take a look at these stats. Burks put up 10 points per game last season with 2 rebounds and 1 assist. He shot 37% from the field and a little better from 3. And look, shoots 36% on corner threes, not great, but doable. Mainly is shooting spot-up threes. 58% of his shots are threes and 78% of them are assisted. He's also good in the clutch. I mean, the man is comfortable in big situations. He's happy to take a big shot. He's pretty good at it. Alec Burks, he's someone who we're not going to forget on the Knicks. He's going to be one of those guys where it's like, oh yeah, Knicks legend Alec Burks. The way he is with the Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz, Philadelphia 76ers, basically every team that he ever played for, Alec Burks has been a legend on that team. I mean, the Warriors liked him. Alec Burks has been loved by many different teams. Now, he's going to be loved by Heat fans, obviously, for all the right reasons. But it is kind of weird that the Knicks just let him walk. Now, obviously, we know the Knicks Mikal Bridges trade. It's over, but it has not been officially completed. Mikal Bridges, as of today, technically still is on the Brooklyn Nets. The deal has not been fully sent to the office and signed off on yet, because the Knicks are trying to see if there's a way where they could cut a little bit extra cap space. And there's a few different options there, mainly via some sort of sign and trade or something, but that will not be happening with Alec Burks right now. As pointed out, where this will show, there we go, as pointed out by my guy Knicks Feed on Twitter, he mentioned that there's no sign and trade there either, which basically means the Knicks would have to sign and trade Precious Achiuwa to the Brooklyn Nets or stay hard capped at the first apron. And if you're at the first apron, you don't get to offer that $12.9 million mid-level exception. You only get to offer $5.2 million, which is a significant downturn. Now, at this point, when the Knicks are talking about free agency and you're looking at the Knicks for free agency, you're thinking big men. Who is going to be that center that they add? Are they going to run with Jericho Sims as the backup center? Are they going to bring back Precious? Are they going to go out there and trade for Walker Kessler or Nick Richards, two guys that they have been interested in? Are they going to give Ariel Hukporti a shot at it? The Knicks have a lot of different decisions and a lot of different options that have to be made when it comes to this center position. Mitchell Robinson is the starter. He's going to start. Anyone who thinks otherwise, you're just losing your mind, unless maybe they get Walker Kessler. That's the one situation where maybe Mitch won't be the starting center, but that's about it. Outside of that, Mitch will be the team's starting center next year as long as he can stay healthy and on the court, which I hope he does. I'm a big fan of Mitch, and I think he is a good enough center to start on a championship team 100%. But at the same time, the Knicks do need some more insurance. If you ask me, if Mitch goes down, I don't trust Precious Achiuwa or Jericho Sims to be that guy. I definitely don't trust Ariel Hukporti, who's not played a game in the NBA and was the last pick in the draft, to be a starting center on a championship team in year one. So they're going to have to go out there and get someone. There's also the thought of getting a backup power forward for Randall, maybe someone more situational like a Trendon Watford, someone mentioned in the comments, or something like that, as Josh Hart is mainly going to still play that role of Randall's backup, which is fine. He did it well last year. I said it was going to be fine, but then I got assaulted via messages by one or two Knicks fans who are pretty connected in the circle. It was like, no, you're wrong. You're an idiot. What the hell's wrong with you, for like an hour and a half, and I just wanted to absolutely stop talking about the Knicks, because after you get screamed at about Josh Hart for a while, that's what happens. Even though I was on his side, I don't know, weird people out there in all fan communities, like Aiden Laporta with the 76ers fans. No shade towards anyone. But look, at the end of the day, the New York Knicks, they are going into another center, and now there's no sign and trade, meaning they only have $5.2 million to work with, which once again makes me believe the Knicks are not looking at the free agency market for centers. They're looking to make a trade, and I think they're going to, because there's really two options that we're looking at here. One, the Knicks have been diligent and didn't like any of the centers on the market, or they knew they costed too much and wouldn't be able to afford them, so they went into the trade market. Or two, Leon Rose is just an idiot and hasn't paid at all any attention, and now they're out of options pretty much, except for low-end backups. I don't think it's the second option. Leon Rose is very diligent. I really don't think that he's asleep at the wheel. I love the sleeping Leon memes, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's asleep at the wheel when the Knicks need a backup center for a guy who has injury concerns. I just don't think that sounds like Leon Rose or the New York Knicks organization at all. So when you consider that, I do think the Knicks are just probably looking via trades and are going to find a way to cut cap space, whether that's having to move Deuce McBride, which I don't think it will be. They seem to love him. Or moving Jericho Sims, or some trade exceptions. There's some options, but that Obi trade exception expires in 4 days, so if they're going to make a move with that, they might have to soon, and that is their biggest trade exception of them all. So we're going to find out, and I'm very interested to see, and I will be reporting on it. I'm a little late to this one. I wasn't home. I was at the gym, but I'll be ready next time. Anytime Knicks news comes out, Knicks Digest, we're getting a video out within the hour, usually within 30 minutes, usually within 20 minutes, honestly. I don't miss, I don't sleep, I'm ready to go. Make sure you're subscribed, like this video, turn on post notifications. Have a phenomenal Wednesday, y'all. Go Knicks.